Hello guys, this is Yara here, and today we're going to be doing a post-Legacy of Destruction tier list. Of course, this is assuming that there is going to be no ban list before then, so of course if Konami decides to release a ban list, then this video will be useless, but since they haven't released a ban list yet, this is going to be taking that into account. So post-Legacy of Destruction, no ban list. Yeah, this is going to be what this video is going to be based on. So yeah, so this is going to be talking about Tempire Dragon, we're talking about Light Swords, we're talking about the gold sarcophagus, the new Ashen cards, like we're talking about all the new supports, post Legacy of Destruction. So yeah, let's begin. So right off the bat, we're going to be talking about the gold sarcophagus deck. It is nostalgia bait. It is going to be on cope, unfortunately. Yeah, this deck is you can relive some of your old moments like gadgets and all that kind of stuff. You can kind of like play around with them, have some fun with them, but I don't think this deck is to be taken serious. This is more for like the casual player. So you can pick it up, probably won't be expensive. Ashen is getting a pretty cool fusion monster that destroys cards when they activate, and also it's a super poly target, right? Because your field spell turns stuff into pyro during your turn only, but doesn't matter. You can super poly your opponent's board, right? You need a Vados plus like 2 pyro monsters, so you're gonna be able to super poly your opponent's monsters because more than likely you're gonna be giving Vados to your opponent. And so you're gonna do Vados plus like 2 more. Vados is gonna go to the graveyard. Vados is gonna destroy the field. So it's a pretty good fusion. And not just that, there may be another couple more cards for support of this, so you may want to watch out for that. But as it is right now, it's still cope. Honestly, like sure, it's a cool super poly target, but unless they reveal like a very good fusion card or another like level 4 monster, I don't really see this deck doing much, unfortunately. On Dueling Book, I have literally 5 different lists of Ashen. We're talking about different engines, we're talking about different ratios, and none of them are good because the cards themselves are not good. I mean, Vados is a really good card if you're facing like a field deck, a field spell deck, but if you're not facing a field spell deck, then it's not really that good. Orchested it's good to mix it with the horror stuff. I think that's like the best way to play this deck. It's not cope, it's more like tier 2. It gets hurt by bestials. Sometimes Ash can end your turn, like if all you open is Girsu and no other way to extend, then that's just gonna stop your turn. But it's a pretty good deck though. I mean, like we're talking about Harpies at 1, Girsu's at 3, like Galatea's at 3, Dingirs is at 3. The horror stuff is all at 3 basically. So it's a very good deck. So you can definitely take some games for sure. The new XYZ is gonna allow for some pretty interesting OTK lines because it allows your monsters to attack directly. But I'm still not convinced with the Goblin cards. They're just gimmicky at best. They might need Takatamborg. I believe that's the one that Terratop, the one that's semi-limited right now, to come back to 3. I feel like if they do that, plus you might have to mix this up with like Punk or something along those lines. But even then, I still don't see it like winning any big tournament. So I'm gonna put this at 2. Centurion is gonna get 2 insane cards, a new Synchro and a new main deck monster. The new main deck monster is very good, and the Synchro, oh my goodness, it's so sexy because now you can actually play Shifter in the deck, which is insane, right? Another deck that can play Shifter because it allows you to play stuff that's banished. So, like I said, this is assuming no ban list, right? Calamity is still legal for some reason. So, Centurion is definitely gonna go. It's actually a really good deck. Honestly, it has a lot of starters. Can play Bonfire. Oof. Honestly, assuming no ban list, this might have to go to S. Like I honestly think so. Calamities is still legal. Bonfires at 3. The new Synchro, the new main deck monster has so many starters. Can play a lot of non-engine. Can play super poly. I may have to put this in S. Honestly, is a really good deck. Floowandereeze, as you guys know, I got top 8 at a case tournament. with Floowandereeze. I've taught a lot of tournaments. And even won some case tournaments before with Flu, so I'm pretty knowledgeable with this deck. I know its weaknesses as well. It's a very good deck. I would say probably the best, if not the second best shifter deck alongside Kashtira, but probably the best shifter deck if I'm being honest. I mean, Kashtira would be the number one if a Rise Heart was still legal, but it's not. But so I'm gonna put this at the best shifter deck. Some hands just kind of break, like you open a lot of big birds. So I'm gonna put this at tier 1, only because I know how powerful this deck is. You don't even have to open shifter to win games. But I'm gonna put this at tier 1. You know, I don't want to overhype it or anything, but I still think it's a very good deck. We're talking about the stun deck now. Stun deck, we're talking about either Runic stun or just like stun with a lot of floodgates. And the spell that allows you to draw 2 cards every draw phase for the remainder of the duel allows you to double summon. Stun is actually unironically pretty good right now, right? Like a lot of the times, like let's say you go up against Snake Eye, right? And then you're playing against Fire King Snake Eye. They rely on their princes, they rely on their Runics or their IP Masquerena special summoning during your turn. But you just summon Fossil Dyna and you say, what are you gonna do about my Fossil Dyna? What are you gonna do, huh? So yeah, stun, I'll probably put this at tier 1, honestly. Like, I mean, if they win the die roll, it's just so hard for them to lose. It's just so hard. Like, you need sometimes multiple imperms just to be able to break through. Sometimes they end up on like an Inspector border, or they end up on like double Fossil Dyna. Yeah, so now heroes unfortunately still loses to Nibiru, but it's a very good super poly deck. You know, being able to set up, you know, Destroy Phoenix Enforcer or Dark Law is pretty insane. But I'll probably put it at the top of tier 2. Sky Striker, unfortunately there won't be getting the new support in this upcoming set. It'll be until the following set, so I'll probably put this at Cope when the time being. It's just Sky Striker. It's just they need Engage to come back to 3. Dragon Link got another Seals target, another monster that just got revealed as a level 4 dragon monster that you can summon off of Seals, and you can put a counter on your opponent's monster, and that target cannot be used as link material, fusion, or synchro. So we have another Seals target, which is decent in my opinion. So, but the best things about Dragon Link are the bestials, right? Like Lebellion, Magnamut, Strike. I mean, the rockets are pretty good too, setting up like a Synchro 8 or stuff like that. So I put this at the top of tier 2. Only because they have so many cards in the ban list, right? Like they need, you know, a lot of cards to come off the ban list for them to be good again. Like, it seems like almost every other ban list, Konami is just like, let's get another Dragon Link card. Like, why not, right? Yubel's gonna get a crazy new field spells. A Searcher plus a starter. Absolutely insane, right? So, Yubel right now is pretty good. Probably the best Super Poly deck, because the fusion is just literally Super Poly dot monster, right? And you're actually able to search Super Poly, which is like one of the few decks that can search Super Poly in engine, right? So this deck is insane. This deck is honestly insane. I'll put this like before Flu. Yeah, this deck is insane. Plus the field spell is just so sweet. Kashtira, Shifter, pretty good deck. They can OTK pretty easily. You know, Scareclaw Kashtira, being able to attack in defense position, can out stuff like Bagushka. Yeah, I'll probably put this, like over here. Yeah, probably above Yubel for now. I know Konami is not gonna release a Rise Heart, but right now it's very good. It's won like a lot of tournaments, you know, not as much as like Snake Eye or Fire King or anything like that, but it's won a lot of tournaments, honestly. Now this is pure Snake Eye. Snake Eye pure is still gonna be tier S. Deck is insane, right? Being able to set up Savage plus Baron plus follow up follow up. I mean, they even have a line to play through Shifter. I mean, sure, it's not a strong line, right? Setting Oak, IP Masquerina, the Field Spell, but it's still a line that they can still do stuff under Shifter. But I mean, yeah, it's a lot of non-engine, a lot of starters. You know, Wanted still at 3, Black Witch still at 3. Now we're talking about Rescue Ace Snake Eye. So Rescue Ace Snake Eye is the best way to play the deck. So that way you still have access to like Poplar, Original, stuff like that. So yeah, this is definitely tier 1. Not S because you have to play a lot of the bricks, like the trap cards and the spells. Like sometimes you don't want to see them go in second. You rather like a board breaker or a hand trap. But it's still a good deck. Still a good deck. Yeah, probably above Kashtira, but below Floowandereeze. Yeah, that's where I put it. Fire King, I believe, is the best variant of Snake Eye. This deck is just so annoying to face. They have so many extenders, so many ways to. They have an in-engine way to dodge imperm. Like you try to imperm the Snake Eye Ash. They Kieran pop it, right? But Kieran is such an insane card. Such an insane card, honestly. Now we're gonna be talking about Runic. Like all the variants of Runic. We're talking about Fur High Runic, Sprite Runic, you name it. Anything that's not stun, because stun is over here. I'll probably put that at the top of tier 2. I mean, it's still good, but I think stun Runic is better than like non-stun variants, right? Yeah. Infernoble. I created my own playmat. If you want to buy the playmat, I might have a link to that on the description below. If you like the art, of course. I've done a lot of combos, theorized a lot. I think this is the deck that I have the most profiles in my dueling book. I have close to 10 different lists, but still, it sold a hit. It hurt a lot. It really hurt a lot. So I'm gonna put this under Dragon Link. Yeah, under Dragon Link. It just hurt so much. And before anybody says, I know the lines. I know the Ib lines. I know the Poplar lines. I know the lines, right? Like, don't tell me I don't know the lines. Sometimes people comment, they're like, dude, you're not up to date with the Infernoble combos. I'm like, I know the combos. I just know what hurts this deck a lot. You play a lot of cards that you don't want to see go in second. I mean, the deck is fun, don't get me wrong, but you don't want to see like 3 equips on your opening hand go in second, right? So we're talking about Purrely. Purrely is a good deck, right? They can side shifter. They can also play a decent amount of non-engine. They can break boards, right? Zeus Turbo. Probably put this at the bottom of tier 1. Now Voiceless Voice is gonna get a very